What's happening, fishing friends? Today we're doing some shallow water fishing with a little vibrating jig that's just a little bit different. This is the first Gen Copperhead, and as you can see, it's got two copper BBs there that allow the blade to hit off it. You know, these days everybody's throwing a jackhammer or an Evo, so something just a little bit different. I was catching all of my fish in like 5 foot or less. In stained water, I only had like a couple feet of visibility. So throwing something a little bit different, pretty different sound to it. You can hear it when it's coming in. So enough yapping, let's get out in the water and test this thing out. There we go. Up in the showers. I was hoping there'd be some back in here. Better guy. Oh, better than I thought. Up in the showers by some wood. First good fish of the day. There's one. Oh, no way. Okay, well, I wasn't expecting the first catch of the day to be a crappie. Okay, switched over to the Copperhead, fishing the shallows. The crankbait was going just a bit too deep. Right in the nose. Heck yeah, short, stocky little dude. Saw a little 2.5 pounder. Let's see if we can find some more of those. Okay, so I'm sitting in 3 foot of water, slow rolling this, and that was our first good schmack. That's not good. I thought I saw a fish splash over there when I threw it in the first time. Super shallow, right in the wood. Okay, 2 on the Copperhead. Shallow wood that dude was. First one was just out kind of cruising in like 3 foot of water, and this Copperhead is a shallower running vibrating jig, so it is perfect for, like, I would say 6 foot or less. I'm just kind of slow rolling this through here. As long as you reel it slow, tip down, it stays down. But if you run tip high and try to burn it, it tends to come up. But if you're fishing shallow around like stuff like this, not a bite. I think I just had something grab it right there by that wood. Nope. There's one. Super shallow by a piece of wood. Okay, shallow wood, the deal, huh? Hey, better than I thought. 1.5 pounder. We'll take him. Okay, could be a Copperhead day. I know I said I was going to make the spinnerbait great again, but we've got no clouds. I think the vibration of a chatterbait or vibrating jig, whatever you want to pick, I think is more natural on these days where you have wind but it's sunny. I don't know, maybe that's the bad way of thinking. You know, when I think like days like this where there's just a few clouds, it's sunny, you've got wind, usually like crankbait day, right? Windy, but it's got sun, crankbaits. Today, I figured with as dirty as the water is, I've got about, I don't know, 2.5 foot of visibility. I figured, oh, let's throw the old vibrating jig, but I wanted to throw something a little different, especially since I was fishing shallower, something with a different sound. That's why I went to as a Copperhead. There's one. Oh gosh, feels like a better one. Just come up behind it and toilet bowled it. Oh yeah, better guy. All right, another good one on it. Oh, dude, come up and just slackline, doink. I think he's gonna be short. 2 pounds, 13 ounces, I bet. Oh, it was 15 for a second. How about that for a guess? 2 pounds, 14 ounces. There we go. Almost a 3. Apparently shallow around wood. All those fish, or I guess the 2 bigger fish that I've caught, have been in like 3 foot of water. So there's another one on it. Rocky point this time. no wood. Okay, one more copperhead. I will take it. So fishing shallower. That one was the first one around rock. Everything else had been in and around wood. I was just thinking too, we had a whole bunch of clouds come in. I'm like, I wonder if I should switch up and try the spinnerbait, but catching them on this, why would I? There's one. Yeah, maybe I won't switch up on the spinnerbait. Okay. Another one on the point. Well, that's another fish. I will take it, little dude. There's another one right there. 3 fish right there off that one little spot. Some rocks and wood kind of mixed in. Okay, as I was just saying, maybe I need to switch with the clouds. No, we're not switching. Another little dude. Off the point. Okay, so we've got a few on rocks, a few on the wood, but all on the copperhead. Okay, well, I guess it's just a day of zipping around. Everything's been in less than 5 foot that I've caught. So I guess we'll do that. I'm not mad at that. I don't mind chucking around a vibrating jig and catching fish. Okay, shallow right by the end of the point. Points and wood, points and wood. Dang, he was stuck, little dude. I don't even know if y'all can hear me. The wind is getting a little rough out here. All right, fishing friends, it was a fun day on the water throwing this. Again, this is the Copperhead from First Gen Lures. A little bit different sound to a chatterbait. That are they conditioned to it? Some people are saying the chatterbait's not as effective because they're conditioned to it. You know, you heard this argument about the whopper plopper and some of these other lures. So they started coming out with different sizes, different types of vibrating jigs. This one is definitely a unique one on the market with those 2 BBs in the nose of it. And this is an excellent shallow water chatterbait. So I would say like 6 feet or less, this thing excels. I was throwing the 1/2 ounce, and this is the new little compact size. I really like this one. A little bit smaller blade to it, good compact body. And the trailer I was running, this is the BizBaits. I forget what they call it. It's their new minnow. I think it might be the minnow. That's why I got some. Little minnow bait, straight tail deal. This is their like shiner, Tennessee shad color. I'm not sure. I'll link everything down below, rod, reel, lure, all that, in case you want to look. And of course, if you ever use my links, a little bit comes back to me to help the channel. I appreciate that. If not, you find them elsewhere, I still love you, but this will be down there as well. I really like this color. I think it's a good way to imitate, shad, can imitate a bluegill up there, baby bass, and you can change the way it looks with the trailer. If I would have an all white trailer on here, would look a lot brighter, a lot different. So I kind of like to contrast the trailer with the jig sometimes to get kind of a different look to it, especially when you pop this skirt, I guess here, you pop that skirt, it's kind of showing some of that. I don't know, I like that. I kind of like to mix and match, but feeding shallow on bluegill, whether you're pre, during, post-spawn, anything fishing up shallow like this, it's a great way to do it with a little vibrating jig like this. And the key for me, I was really trying to look at what was drawing these fish in. And you have to think about when they're spawning, where they're making their beds, where you're going to find them. They want to feel safe. So some sort of hard bottom they'll clean off. Most of these were tucked in by a piece of wood. When I was casting, I was getting right next to wood. And don't be afraid of getting too shallow this time of year. With spawning fish up there, if they've got enough water to be over their back, 6 inches or whatever, they can be in it. And in some of these spots, I had to make multiple casts. There was a spot where I thought I saw a fish dart out, threw it again, he come hit it right by the wood. When I'm throwing up by stumps and laydowns, I'm trying to get as close as I can to it and bring it through there. And it's not often a hunger bite, it's just reaction. They're protecting their bed, they have to hit it and grab it. So that's what I was doing, fishing super shallow. And with this thing, it's really nice because if you got vegetation growing up, or if you're just fishing real shallow like that, This is the 1/2 ounce, and I think the control on it is really good. Whereas if you're fishing a 1/2 ounce, you know, jackhammer or something like that, it tends to want to sink. You know, you might be fighting it up and down the whole time. So if you want a shallow running, I think this one is really good. If you get out and want to fish deeper, I think the jackhammer and some of those other are better options. But for a shallow water, you know, bank fishing, something like that, I think this is a really good option. Now, what makes it different, and you know, the whole deal with fish being conditioned, that's a whole nother video because I don't know the answer. I go back and forth on it where some things, maybe if they see it and hear it enough, but even if there's a lot of pressure on a lake, it's not like everybody's throwing the same lure, right? So how many times and how, you know, how exactly would they have to see that to be conditioned to it when you're fishing, you know, a 500 or 900 acre lake? I don't know. I don't know the true answer to it. I think there's some things they probably can't get conditioned to, like a, you know, a stick bait, a fluke. It's, you know, a natural plastic, doesn't really make a sound. It moves in kind of weird ways. They eat it, right? A crankbait, a chatterbait, maybe. I don't know. Sometimes I think it couldn't matter. They could see it 1,000 times, and if it comes by out of aggression, they're still going to hit it, you know, a reaction strike. So I don't know, but that's the lure. The combo, really been liking this. I think Cashin did an excellent job on these. These are the Element rods. They're like $120, I think. Hopefully they don't go up with tariffs. It seems like every freaking thing is right now, but have really liked this rod. I hope they stay at that price. You know, of course, these are made right here in the States over in North Carolina, but you know, some of the components I think still come from overseas. The guides, I'm not sure exactly, you know, but I'm sure some of these come from over there. So I hope we don't see a price increase. But anyway, this is the multi-purpose 7-1 medium heavy, moderate fast. Oh yeah, 3/8 to 1 ounce. And I think, yeah, that 1/2 ounce on this feels so good. 3/8, same thing, but a 1/2 ounce, man, it really loads that rod up. And this really is a multi-purpose. Like, I want a rod that's got a decently soft tip to it, but backbone once you get down into it. So throwing my moving baits, whether it's a swim jig, spinnerbait, chatterbait, I pretty much throw them all in the same thing, depending on a shorter rod if I want to be a little bit more accurate, longer rod if I want a little bit more distance. But that's about it. I like that good bending rod, not a super fast rod where just the tip of it bends. I want it to bend down a good way into it, probably a third of the way-ish down the rod. That way you'll notice on the bites like a spinnerbait, especially a chatterbait, it's like a toilet bowl comes up behind it. And they've said that like 95% of the time when companies have done research, bass always hit a chatterbait directly from behind. I don't know how true that is, but any reaction bait like that, I think it's good to have a rod with a little bit of delay so that fish can grab it, get it, and before it starts really putting the bend into the rod and you feel it, you know, there's that slight delay and then you swing into them. So that's what I like for a moving bait rod. I think the moderate fast is perfect for this. The reel, that is the Daiwa Tatula Elite. Absolutely love that reel. Mine initially came completely dry, so I did have to take it apart and grease it and oil it. After that, it's been a completely different reel because when I first got it, I was like, this thing ain't great. I know Jim Tackle Junkie was raving about it. I'm like, man, I must have got a dud, but it was just dry. So watch that with your Daiwa reels. I got the 7-1 speed. That's going to be upside down, not that it matters. 7-1 speed Elite, thing casts well, controls well. I just wish they would upgrade to a little bit bigger knobs. Line, no big surprise there. P-Line Tactical, 17-pound fluorocarbon. That's how I fish mine. I'm going to be doing a video on this because for vibrating jigs, chatterbaits, bladed jigs, whatever you want to call them, there's some things that I've done and changed up to get more bites and I feel like be more successful because out there, everybody's got an opinion on chatterbaits. They're one of the most popular lures out there, and some people are diehard, you got to fish it this way. You have to use this gear. So I've got some things that I think will help you in a video coming up. Let me know if there's some things you do different with a vibrating jig to be more successful. Well, today we've got Kevin Granke. He just commented on the last video I had for rods and reel combos, some new stuff I had and was trying out. He said, Gear Nerds Unite. He is a loyal subscribed fishing friend. Seen his name around for a long, long time. Appreciate him, and I appreciate the heck out of all you who continue to watch and support. Again, my channel would not be here if it wasn't for y'all. So for that, if there's any gear, rod, reels, any of that you want to see coming up, I've got a few plans. So if there's new stuff you want to see, let me know. But otherwise, I got to edit. Love y'all. Thanks for watching, and until next time.